What's up, YouTube? Welcome to another episode of Only Time Can Tell. I'm your host, Ken, and I have a question for you. But before I begin, don't forget to share, like, hit the subscribe button, so therefore you'll be notified of any upcoming, up-to-date, Only Time Can Tell videos that only I can produce. But anyway, back to the show. So, question, what happens when you go to school or start out going to school for psychology and then you wind up doing comedy? I know. But my guest here to my right, Hardlee Quin, has the answers for you. Hardlee Quin, thank you for joining us.
Appreciate you.
I appreciate you. So, like I was saying earlier, the whole purpose of this segment is to basically show the viewers the many forms of success and what success looks like for a lot of different people. And we're not necessarily really focused on the destination, but more importantly, we want to see what the journey looks like. So hopefully we can inspire people who may be in your same shoes to go that extra step, to go further, to, get to that finish line, So, for the viewers, how'd you come up with the name Hardlee Quin? That's such an unusual name.
Well, I came up with the name Hardlee Quin simply because my first name is Quintasia. So that Quin alone was already there for me.
Right.
Then I got into Batman and comics and finding Hardlee Quin. She was exactly how I was. She was crazy. She was just out there, really. The Hardlee part was what I took is because people hardly knew who I was.
Right.
Maybe they would see me around and think of what they did know.
Right.
But they didn't know me, for real. And I was just a person that kind of went through a lot of things in my life. And I think what saved me was turning it into humor. I always felt like my life was like Comic View on BET. Like, this got to be a joke. Yeah. It has to be a joke. And it kind of affected my mental health a lot. And I seen it affected my community. So I wanted to go into psychology, right? And I wanted to be a mental health therapist to kind of get to the bottom of that. But if my issues was already heavy, multiple people's issues were going to be heavy. So I had to reroute and find another way, another form of therapy. So I'm actually in school right now for massage therapy.
Massage therapy? Okay.
Oh, look at that now. So, yeah, it's a journey.
Well, and that's interesting too, because I know, I don't know if you ever saw JoJo Dancer, Your Life is Calling. It was a movie about Richard Pryor's life, and one of the things that I thought was very, very intriguing was that his history, his upbringing, his mother, he was basically born in a whorehouse, because his mother was a prostitute. Mm-hmm. So growing up with that and seeing all the, these different Johns and all that like pain, and he was able to basically transmute that into comedy. So it was interesting that you was able to make that comparison without even knowing that.
It just came all together, and This is what I have to do. Like, I'm gonna have to do that.
Okay.
So what's so funny is the whole comedy ordeal. I did my first stand-up literally last year in December.
Did you really?
Yes. So Friday was my second show. I never really knew how to do stand-up or anything. I was just naturally funny. This is how I would talk around my friends, around everybody. It was always there. I just
really, because we've heard you speak and you didn't say nothing funny, so I don't know.
Oh, shit. It was a time and a place.
Okay, I got you. Sorry to interrupt. But.
No, but seriously, that was kind of hard to kind of put that, because nobody's going to really take you serious if you joke all the time. So I'm trying to find a way to be serious and not joke all the time. So the balance. Because
I know for me, I know I can be funny in certain situations, but to go up on stage or to kind of write out a routine and almost kind of like being funny on command, for me, I know that that's challenging. So how are you able to manage that?
That is the hardest part. And how I decided to go about it is I would pick a topic of what I would want to talk about and start to think of each story that would align with that. So when I think of the topic, I could think of the stories hand on. But I think the challenge with that is more so slowing it down. You know,
Right.
because you think you want to rush the joke out, people can't really grasp it. So
Right.
that's what I'm learning, and that's what I
So
figured
the
out.
timing.
The timing is
Right.
everything, and I usually went first. The times I went was first. So I felt like, okay, I got to get in and get out so everybody else, you know, can have their time. So that was...
Which is kind of a good thing, right? Because you don't want to necessarily follow, like, someone that's really hilarious and be like, all right, now I got to go on after that.
I would instantly sit and be like, I got to change this shit up right now. I got to change it up right now. Let me start talking about somebody in this motherfucker. I got to look around and do something like that.
Right.
I don't know. I'm going to have to switch it up.
Okay. So now, who did you utilize? Were there any people that you utilized for any source of inspiration?
Honestly, my favorite female comedians would have to be Monique, Samore, Leslie Jones. I love the power in it. I love when it gives, badass energy. That's what I want to give off. And with the Hardlee Quin energy, it's like giving beauty badass. It's giving that kind of own the stage kind of, so I love that.
Right. All right. So now your thing was, you said you started when? Last year?
Yeah. I was doing a whiskey tasting at a cigar lounge out in Harlem, and Trina Be Real, she seen me and she just looked at me and was like, you are it. You do comedy, you rap, da-da. And I don't do any of them things. I mean, maybe in the house, yeah, but I don't really do any of those things.
But for the viewers, like, what exactly did she see to be like, oh, you are it? Like,
I think I was taking a shot of the whiskey itself.
Okay.
And when I tasted
the spirit,
chocolate, it was that chocolate whiskey. You gotta have a hair on your chest to drink that shit. I had a little bit of 2 hairs after, and that was it. She was just like, what, So
you just was like, just letting it.
She's seen something, and I'm still trying to discover what she sees. I mean, I personally would know what I could bring to the table, but for somebody else to see it was just different. Like somebody seen. Believe something in me.
So you was just out having a good time, and you just started just snapping on people, or like? I
was just talking, regularly talking. My intentions was never to get into comedy. I never said I want to be a comedian. I never thought of doing any of this. But I just knew that at this point in time in my life, I got to come out that shell at some point, because I'm like a turtle. I poke my head out as soon as it gets too real.
Right. And and that's one thing that I've always said and I've always learned, right? That if you're looking to grow, if you're looking to do anything worthwhile, you got to get uncomfortable, because nobody grows when they're comfortable. So with that in mind, tell us what that first show was like or whatever, because I would imagine, this is the first time you're going out there or whatever. I don't know if you wrote material, like, tell us what that situation was like.
So the theme of that first show was coochie comedy.
Coochie.
What better person to talk about a coochie than somebody that got a coochie? So I was honored, actually, and that night there was like a storm kind of. It was rainy. It was, and I still pushed through with it. And the few people that came, I was like, I gotta grab them some way, somehow. And the first thing I said was, I know why y'all came out here. Y'all came out here for some coochie. Rain, snow, whatever it was. Y'all came to get some coochie, huh? Y'all want to hear about some coochie. So a lot of that just kind of came natural. And, once I started, I couldn't stop. And everything was burning inside. It was, it was just tunnel vision.
Wow.
It was tunnel vision. It was super focused.
So you basically just got that feedback from the crowd, and you just kind of built off of that.
I'm getting
got that momentum.
Just thinking about it now, because I didn't expect it, and a lot of people are their worst critic. You know what I mean? I judge myself where it's like, I could have did better here, and people over there telling me like, you did so good. So it was really,
Yeah, I can relate to that, because I know even downright with this show, I know my cousin's like, we got to put this out. We got to put this out. And I'm like, man, you see how I look? I look crazy. We can't put that out. I got a reputation, man. People see that or whatever. So I know exactly what you mean. And as far as being a hardest critic, hardest critic. So was there ever a time, in your 1 year, have you ever told a joke that may not have gone over the way that you thought it would?
Like I said, I kind of didn't get the timing
Okay.
kind of down, so I feel like nobody got a chance to kind of hear the joke because immediately I'm going to, the next thing.
Right.
So slowing it down, I feel like it'll really get them, to understand it and be like, what? Because sometimes it could probably go over your head and it didn't get a chance to marinate just yet. So moving forward, I'm definitely gonna, pace this out, watch the crowd's reaction to see if this joke would fit with it. You know what I mean? To what can I do?
So you was just like saying, so the one thing that you basically picked up, the feedback that you got was your timing. You had to, kind of like slow down your timing or whatever, which is very, very important. And I want to stress that to the viewers. Not everything that you basically get yourself into, not everything that you do, you're going to necessarily always hit a home run. But use that as an opportunity to learn and grow from and get better. Very rarely are you going to do something for the first time and it just takes off. Like, there's a process. There's a saying, 10,000 hours in any particular thing. You invest 10,000 hours in any particular thing, you can become an expert. So I think I'm on hour 2,000 right now. 2,000.
I haven't even been counting them. I done lost time at this point.
Right. So all right. So you've been doing this for a year. So where are you from?
Well, I was born and raised in Brooklyn, but I've resided in the Bronx. I'm currently residing in Harlem, so.
All right. So you all city, right? You all just about.
Pretty much.
Next year you're gonna be out in Queens.
I'm trying to seclude everywhere and then get up out of here because New York. Listen, love y'all, but this is just.
Right.
I would like to take this journey on the road. How about that?
Okay.
So.
Okay. All right. That's cool. You got comedy. You kind of testing your feet out with comedy or whatever. You're definitely exploring that. And you're basically from 3 different boroughs. Now, how is it that you're able to juggle your newfound passion with your personal life, your private life? Like, how is that easy to do?
Of course it's not easy to do for me because naturally I feel like I have to do so many things to keep myself busy at times. I don't like to really sit in my head a lot. So right now I'm in school full time for massage therapy. 2 years ago I started a skincare business called Hardlee Quin, and I really had to stand still with that. I didn't know which direction to go. I wanted to be a perfectionist. I'm still in that mode, but comedy allowed me to just go out there and do it. Right. And that's what I tell myself. I don't care if the picture quality is not as good or this is not. Let the people know what it is. And I really want to get it out there. And this is for people with the harliest of skin. I've been a tomboy a lot. I got a lot of bruises from life itself, and I'm pretty sure everyone does. And I just wanted to have a skincare business that was natural, homemade with these Hardlee Quins, and for the people, men, women, my black people, because a lot of y'all ashy. So I wanted to help out with that. So maintaining that, school, and I have a child, it's a lot.
Right.
It is a lot.
And so I would imagine with you wanting to start your own business, being an entrepreneur or whatever, I guess the motivation behind that is to like let your son know that, hey, you know what? You don't necessarily have to go ask someone for a job. You can create your own opportunities or whatever. But I would imagine, are you still doing the skincare or? Yeah,
I wanted to treat Hardlee Quin like it was my child. It's more so been a little orphan for the past 2 years, but I'm willing to go get it back and take care of my baby. So I'm gonna get back on that and definitely start pushing hard.
See, the one thing that I find intriguing, especially like based off of the past couple of years that we've had, where there's been like a lot of uncertainty, a lot of fear or whatever. One of the things that I think is interesting that you kind of gravitated towards was the whole comedy, and that was all about basically countering, the uncertainty, the fear, because the one thing that balance, or the one thing that counters out fear and uncertainty is laughter, and people feeling good or what have you. So I think it's interesting how you just almost like instinctually you know, was just like, all right, you know what, I'm gonna try my hand at this or whatever the case may be, and kind of like, although your character is based off of a villain, you almost kind of had like an opposite effect in that you would basically try to use a skill to make people feel good, to make them feel better. Is that kind of like an accurate portrayal?
Absolutely, because when I think of a villain in a way, I say that I am in my villain era. It means like only for this time. And I feel like the villains are actually people who started to fight back and just wasn't in ways that people would have wanted to, but they always had a story. And they had to get to that point to where they, you know, they kind of turned into that. And that is really what has been happening to me. After a while, I feel like I'm actually fighting back.
Right. I'm gonna jump on that. I'm gonna morph that. It's not even so much that you're a villain, because when you think of a villain, you're thinking of
the evil,
or someone that's doing something immoral. But your thing is, I want to basically operate differently from the group and kind of like, you know, kind of put like my own spin, you know, my own little happiness. Because one of the many things that I believe makes people successful is what you give, and not so much what you take, but what you give. And as long as you're giving, and you're giving from, you know, a pure place, then everything that you're gonna need is gonna come. You know, it's gonna fall right into place. So like I said, so I just think it's amazing that, you know, hey, I want to go to school for, you know, psychology. Hey, you know what, I'm gonna do the skincare thing. You know what, I'm gonna tell some jokes. You know, and then it's just amazing to me how, like, you know, the universe, or, you know, whatever you believe in, you get rewarded for that, you know, to the point where it's just like, you know what, I think I can do this.
And you know what I love as well is because everything kind of entwined with each other, if you think about it. So from psychology, that is a form of therapy. Okay, well, that didn't work out. I go to massage therapy, that is a form of therapy. And I can use my skincare. Wow, that is, you know what I mean? And where the humor comes from, that is where all of my confidence came from. To be funny and be able to cut your own ass. So nobody could do it. It was that. So nobody had nothing that they could say, because I already. And not to mention,
hey, you guys, I got an idea for you. I don't know too many massage therapists who also tell jokes.
Come on.
So
come on now.
You know what? You heard it.
That muscle, you know, so, like that. Come on, you can get that knot out your back. Come on.
You know, so yeah, so we only time can tell. We're here all about coming up with, like, you know, all types of ideas to help you, help us, to basically all be successful and, you know, be able to contribute to the world and make the world a little bit better. All right, so Hardlee, so do you consider yourself a comedian or an entertainer?
I would consider myself an entertainer also. I feel like comic would just leave me in that one, you know, bubble. I entertain, I love to dance. You take me to a party, I'm dancing my ass off. I don't care what beat is on. I don't care what it is, I'm going to dance my ass off. I'm an actor. I used to love to do acting.
Okay.
So yeah, it's like camera action for me, honestly.
Right. And can you actually dance, or is that kind of funny?
I could dance.
Okay,
all right. What? Lies. My own child. You see, it gets you. Can't trust them neither.
Yeah, because see, I know me myself, and I'll be the first to admit, I'm horrible. Because I'm too analytical, so I'm always thinking. All right.
Oh,
so
no.
1, 2, 3. All right. What am I gonna do next?
I probably don't even know the song, but I can count the beat of it. So they think I know every goddamn thing. I don't, but I know how to dance to it. Shit, I might not know the words.
Okay. All right. So besides the comedy, you also mentioned that you also had a skincare line. How did you go into that? I mean, I believe you touched on it earlier, but like, how did you actually
How it really started was when I was in the shelter. It was like 2018, and around this time, you know, my skin, from marks of any little thing, I had to find ways of how I could, you know, take care of it. So I Googled what I can use at home, and these are things that I had at home. I would use my EBT black card, and I would go get the sugar, I'll get the honey, and I started to make it myself, and I started to actually see results. So it was me and my homegirl, we started to try it out, and it's been working. She was like, you should sell it. And I never thought of even doing any of that. It was strictly for me at first.
Right.
And I had a friend who had a pop-up shop, and after that I came up with the names, I came up with the products, I came up with the logos and things like that, and I went for it. And I loved it, and it actually works. This is not something I want to sell just for a profit. I didn't care anything about that. I wanted something that works, that will have my name on it. So that's how it started, and it's at a standstill simply because I don't know how to promote it. And so, like I said, in my mind, I want it to be perfect. I want it to be at a certain time, but you know, as I've been doing comedy and doing everything, you just got to do it. You got to start by starting. Right.
All right. So going forward, next time, what you want to do, especially for like shows like this, you want to definitely, you want to definitely have samples of that. So, you know, this way I could have tried it on and be like, oh yeah, this is pretty good, or actually this kind of sucks. Yeah, stick with comedy. Yo, what is this black stuff on that?
I would love to be on.
Right, yeah. So, all right, but see, and you went to prove a point that I made earlier. You know, you had a situation where, you know, your skin wasn't looking as good as it could have been. And so that you being uncomfortable forced you to go out and be like, all right, let me take matters into my own hands.
Yes,
and you found the solution, or whatever the case may be. And then now that you got all beautiful, you was just like, screw y'all, I don't need y'all, you know.
I wanted to go even deeper.
I'm going to do comedy. I don't even have to do this no more. This is all for me. I'm going to be the pretty one.
No. I wanted to go deeper to find a way how I could not only help me, but everybody. So I said, you know, if you want to do skincare, you got to learn more about the skin, more about the body. And that's what led me to massage therapy. So it wasn't all about me trying to put my hands on people, massage them and stuff. No, I really wanted to know what can, you know.
What kind of pervert are you?
You know what I'm saying? Laughing people out their drawers.
Yeah, you know.
I ain't doing that now.
Acting coochie comedy.
Oh, damn, I done made it bad for myself. Shit. Oh.
You're like, yeah, I got this skincare line.
You know what I'm saying? I'm learning them in. See, don't make it sound like that. You know what I'm saying? But yes, I wanted to learn the body. I wanted it to be hands-on as well, so I can incorporate products that can, you know, help you with your back pain. Everybody got back problems out this motherfucker, or your knees. Your knees or your back is done for in this black community.
I don't have
so
that.
I'm out.
It's my feet. It's my feet. I got feet.
Well, hey, look, foot scrubs, all of that. Got all of that. I got something for you.
Yeah. But all right, so right now, okay, so you have success with the skincare, right? Doing massage therapy. You're also a mom too. You also have a son. Amazing. So I'm sure he's got to be proud of you. And you're also doing a comedy, right? So as of right now in 2023, because I know that this is going to change later on, but what would success look like for Hardlee Quin right now?
So when I hear success, a lot of times I kind of think of money and like what amount you would have. But for me personally, it has nothing to do with money. Success to me is knowing that I opened up such a lane for everyone to kind of get in and do the same thing. So success to me is seeing on who I helped. Like when I look back, it wasn't only for me. So if I can help me, that is when I know that I'm successful. When I see how many people I done cured or helped in any type of way. Through comedy, through my skincare, through whatever it is. So success is how many people, you know, change their life from it or it helped them. It has nothing to do with money at all. Everything I'm doing, I would literally do for free because I love to do it. But, you know, all of that will come with it. But success is more so what I left.
And it may be kind of early to say, but have you had the experience maybe after like a comedy show where somebody came to you at the end and was like, you know what, I was having a really bad day, but you said something that made me forget about my problems, and I just want to thank you for that?
Well, that is the goal for it. I have not gotten that yet, even though it is the second one. More so people would come and ask, like, did that really happen? Because I usually would, like, end it with a true story depending on, you know, what the topic is. So they would usually come up like, that really happened? Like, that's great. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people feel like no one goes through anything. But when you see that
Right.
probably going through some crazy stuff too.
Right.
It makes it comfortable.
I was going to say, it's not so much that no one does, it's not so much that we don't think that anyone goes through anything crazy. We're not used to hearing someone with that level of vulnerability.
Yeah.
You know, like, I got a crazy story for you, you know. My first black eye came at the hands of a girlfriend. That's crazy, right? And then when I went to the police precinct to file a complaint, it was all ladies there.
And they asked you, what did you do to her to get that?
Not only that, but they were laughing at me. So,
You better duck, nigga. You better teach yourself something.
Yeah, well, obviously you must have done something wrong. And I'm just like, yo, what kind of justice is this, you know? But like I said, that level of vulnerability, you know, people are just going to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you were that transparent. Because we live in a world where, you know, it's not cool to be that transparent, you know.
But
that's why,
it's fake,
right.
yeah.
That's why, you know, social media is so, you know, popular, because it's all about that snapshot, you know, and then you fill in the blanks. You know, I could take a picture by a Rolls Royce and you fill in the blanks. Oh man, yo, Ken, yo, if that show was doing that good, yo, he's got a Rolls Royce. No, I don't.
Just lying.
Yeah, I just took a, no, not even lying. I just took a picture by a Rolls Royce and you filled in the blanks. So I'm not even lying, you just rolling with it.
To be vulnerable with that one is definitely the key of it, because I was very insecure, and still a part of me still is, but which is crazy because people see me and think I have this crazy, you know, confidence and nothing, you know, happens. I probably get it the easy way, like, oh, you're pretty, this, Right. There's nothing like that. So for me to speak that and let people know and be the confirmation for a lot of people, that's the end game, that's the goal in general, because it's not. The whole beauty image and everything, it's a lot more to it.
You're on your way, and the one thing that, and obviously because I'm older now, so I can put things in perspective, but the one thing that I admire about you, you know, from the short time that I've known you, is hearing how, you know, you didn't necessarily have it easy, but you didn't let that deter you or let that be the reason to just sit up there and be that bitter bitch, excuse my friend, like, oh, after that, you know what, everybody owes and nah, you just was just like, yo, just because this happened, I can say, what can I do next? How can I fix that? How can I turn this around? And that's very, very important. You got to have resiliency. You got to be able to bounce back. You know, life isn't fair all the time to anyone. You know, everyone has their hurdles, but you got to stop seeing the hurdles as necessarily hurdles and see those as opportunities.
It's a reroute.
Right.
Definitely a reroute every time. And because the perseverance is everything with that. You gotta keep swimming. You gotta keep pushing.
You know, because I heard this analogy that always stuck with me where, you know, there was this hungry man who begged, you know, to the universe for an apple. And the universe gave him apple seeds. And he was just like, well, what the hell am I going to do with apple seeds? This isn't an apple. Not realizing that in that seed, you plant it, then you can basically have a tree with multitudes of apples, which have more seeds. You plant those seeds, before you know it, you have a whole orchard. But you know what I'm saying? It's all about your perspective. And you know, if you can't necessarily see that that seed is your opportunity,
you miss the whole.
You miss the whole thing. And I think a lot of times that's what kind of jacks us up as a people, is because we're so, you know, focused on a certain end result or a certain, you know, end goal, that we miss the bigger opportunity. You know, so talking to you and feeling your vibe, I'm seeing that you on your way.
I'm trusting this process, man. I'm watching this. Listen, the tree is growing, the roots is forming. I want the foundation first. You know, you gotta have a strong foundation. If not, the whole building will crumble.
Right.
So learning that and seeing how it is, how it really is in life, I'm here for it. I don't think I'm ever going to stop with it. I understand that I will have to reroute every time.
And not to mention, plus as a mom too, you figure, you know, everything you're basically doing You know, and I think what makes people an effective teacher is not so much that, hey, you do as I say, but you got to walk the walk and talk the talk. So your son is seeing that you're actually doing it. Now he's got to be like, well, damn, I don't have no excuse, because if my mom is, you know, walking the walk, I got to walk the walk.
How I chose to raise my son was basically however I felt like my parents should have did for me. I said, okay, I'm gonna do it that way, and I'm gonna teach him from experience and not from, you know, because my mom said to do this and that. We in different times. We are in a different world, and this is another human. Just because he's a kid, he got the same feelings, same emotions. We don't know what he deals with in school. If we remember in school, teachers was lying on us and stuff too, or whatever the case may be. He's finding himself, and I think we don't allow our kids to do that because you feel like they're supposed to do it this way, or it's supposed to be this way, or whatever it is. Nah, I'm giving him the freedom, you know, to choose what you want to do. And if you do go down a path that ain't right, life gonna have to whip your ass till you get it right. You know what I mean? I can't block the blessings and the lessons for you, but I'm right here if you got a question for it. Maybe I've been through it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's how I wanna raise my child and speak to anybody really. Yeah, because that's one of experience. That's the best teacher. Yeah, and I agree, because I find that, you know, the one thing that you want to always make sure that you do as a parent and even, you know, an elder, is you will always want to basically share your wisdom, you know, with the youth, so therefore they can make their choices, but make their choices knowing that, all right, I know exactly what the consequences are with each choice that I make. So if I go to school, if I study, you know, I know what goes along with that. And if I drop out of school, I know what goes along with that. Yes, sir. You know, so it's more so like talking to someone, not at them. You know, I'm gonna talk to you. I ain't gonna talk at you. I ain't telling you what to do. I'm gonna just give you what I would have did, whatever you choose to do with it. You know, I wish you the best of luck. That's how I go. I got you. So on average, how many shows would you say you do a week or in a year? So going forward, what I intend on doing is every third Friday of the month, we should be having a show. This is with Trina Be Real, which is my mentor, and since that's what we plan on doing. So next month, there will be another show. I don't have exact dates, but following me, yeah, keep up on it. But so she basically, like you said, she saw you and she was like, all right, you got it. You know what? I need you to be a part of this. You know, so basically, I guess whatever her following will eventually kind of like latch on to you or whatever. Like. Tribe. We moving together, and this is a female, you know, movement, which is awesome to see. You know, finally, like, black women didn't have to lay on their damn backs to do this. We are really grinding right now. So that's what I intend on doing. Just grinding. Awesome. If you were to do a show tomorrow, how many people you think would come out to see you? I would say a strong one person, and that would have to be my homegirl, my little sister, Donnie. I know she would come out. A lot of people would say, like, hey, I'm going to be there. Even for the December show, everyone said, I'm going to be there for the next one, I knew in my heart that they wouldn't. I feel like a lot of people don't want to join on the bandwagon until you made it to this big part. So a lot of people are not sure with me in the gym. Therefore, you wouldn't have any backstage passes when it does come to it. So I don't really, you know, worry about that, because I feel like the word of mouth from everybody else, I feel like strangers would do more than my support system would ever do. But see, you know what's interesting, and this just came to me, because you figure right now, we're in the social media age, right? And I don't know if you're familiar with this comedian, Ryan Davis, right? And the only reason why I'm familiar with him is because he was notorious for doing a lot of YouTube shorts, where, you know, he would basically talk about certain things going on, and like the media or whatever, talk about certain people. And then he would just kind of like, you know, stitch his comedy, you know, with those particular, those storylines or whatever. So I think, you know, I don't know, I don't want to necessarily say, you know, especially like as a result of the climate that we was in, people are necessarily really willing or ready to run out to shows or movie theaters like they might have years prior. But like, you know, with social media and stuff like that, and even, you know, at
only time can tell. You know, like this becomes like an outlet or one of the many vessels that you can use to kind of like throw like, you know, like 5 minute, 1 minute, you know, clips or whatever of something funny, so that you can kind of like
grasping from all. I'm definitely gonna have to utilize social media a lot more.
Right.
Me and cameras, it's very tricky. I always feel like it's like the FBI watching or something. I don't know, so I don't make much eye contact. I feel like they could scan my eyes or some shit. I don't know. So it's really hard for me, but seeing that is the key. Social media is really the key for you to reach, you know, a mass and a variety of different people. Right. I understand that is what I'm going to have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable with. Right. So I'm here for that.
Yeah, because I know when my cousin at What to Do Entertainment was doing What You Laughing At, and we were like doing little like clips or whatever the case may be. I think his reach went like he had like people like out in Maryland like coming to the shows like, and I'm just like, yo, this is really like serious, man. Like people that you don't even know, like, yo, I really, you know, resonate with you. And like I said, and I'm saying this right now, like, you know, I'm one of those type of people after like, you know, wearing the many different hats that I wear. Yeah, I really don't have time for BS. Yeah. Right? But sitting here with you and, you know, vibing off of your energy and your story or whatever the case may be, I feel like you have something, you know. And if you can basically put like 2-minute clips or what have you, you know, just
that'll get the ball rolling.
That's one of the. It may not necessarily get the ball rolling, but it won't hurt you.
Remember, it's the process.
Right.
Anyway, so
you know what I'm saying?
Trusting the process, the hardest part. The 2 views, because you don't know who them 2 people could have been.
Right.
And that's how I look at it.
Right.
So it's never about the amount of it. It's really who's seen me. And that's kind of what Trina did. You never knew. Look how that opened up. I never see myself doing that. A lot of people would see something in me that I don't even see, so I gotta get it out there.
And that's usually the case, so, you know, because you live with you with yourself 24/7.
I just got the key from Ken. Come on, man. I just got the key from Ken. Love this.
But remember, I'm also sleep deprived.
Oh, Lord. We on that time with kids. After this, stay tuned.
Well, Hardlee Quin, this has been some good stuff. I got a lot of good energy from you. Before you go, why don't you tell our viewers where they can find you, or if they can, how can they book you or get in touch with you if they want some of your comedy services or any of your many other skills that you have to offer?
Well, the main place where you guys can reach me at will be Instagram for right now, as I'm trying to build up the other platforms for Hardlee Hands and everything else. You can find me on Instagram at Hardlee, HARDLEE _Quin _again. And that's Quin with 1 N, not 2. So yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate you.
You ain't go to sleep on me now.
Yeah, I didn't go to sleep. That's a testament to how good you are, man.
I'm here for that.
All right. Well, guys, thanks again for joining us. This was Hardlee Quin. This is Ken at Only Time Can Tell. Yeah, I keep messing that up. All right, I'm gonna try that again. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for us. That wraps it up for us. Thanks to my guest, Hardlee Quin, for sharing her time, her stories. Hopefully you can get something from that to help inspire you. You know, and before we go, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. You know, this way, you know, hit the YouTube algorithms can basically start, you know, hitting you with the videos every time we post a new video. I'm Ken. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Peace.
I hope that you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you will always get an alert when a new video drops.